signing ARPA of the Philippine Council for Samas and Badjao Incorporated. Tomorrow, I think Pastor Montecillo is not yet here with us, also to the MPC based in Lanao del Norte. The presence of the members of the press, the first ever, again as Tengo has noted, when the media was invited to the opening ceremony, the larger than usual number of legislators from the Senate and the House of Representatives who will be joining us in the next days, along with Cabinet Secretaries, Secretary Teresita Quintos Teles and Edwin Lasherda, and the guests of the panel members from civil society are the Telltale Signs. They manifest the unusually high note of anticipation that we will produce in this round the last of the 4 annexes that we had pledged to accomplish in the framework agreement on the Bangsamoro. In addition, we are expected to close the addendum to the annexes on power sharing and wealth sharing that the government and the MLF panel subsequently agreed to add. To think that we are so close to closing the comprehensive agreement on the Bangsamoro, and we still call this round formal exploratory talks, the 43rd to be precise. It makes one wonder when we will ever get to the next higher stage of formal talks. But it is probably the beauty in the word explorations and exploratory that has allowed us to creatively think, to push and pull here and there, consider and reconsider, to argue and compromise, to add and subtract with net positive results. In effect, to reach this far in our forward march toward a peaceful resolution of the armed conflict between the government and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. Indeed, we have gone deep into defining and structuring Bangsamoro autonomous governance, how in effect fiscal and political autonomy shall be realized. Moreover, we are coming to terms with the bigger project of normalization with its diverse components, socio-economic, transitional justice and reconciliation, and security. The security aspect alone is made up of several elements: disbandment of private armed groups, decommissioning of MLF combatants and weapons, redeployment of the AFP from or within the Bangsamoro as the security situation improves, a halt to the proliferation of loose firearms, and transitional security arrangements that will see the armed forces of the Philippines, the Philippine National Police, and the Bangsamoro Islamic Armed Forces collaboratively keeping the peace on the ground. As with all explorations enthusiastically pursued and assiduously followed by the numerous stakeholders and supporters, the expectations as to what the process will deliver are enormous. Foremost expectation is the end to the armed conflicts in Muslim Mindanao and a halt to the occurrence of violence involving the various armed groups. Certainly, this is an expectation not only for those that will fall inside the Bangsamoro, but those areas which will coexist side by side the Bangsamoro, such as Zamboanga City and the rest of the Zamboanga Peninsula, North Cotabato and Lanao del Norte. We take special note of Zamboanga City, which has yet to fully recover from the trauma resulting from the siege launched by a faction of the Moro National Liberation Front. In this regard, we ask the MLF leadership to ensure that their ranks refrain from any provocative acts that generate distrust among the populace. Secondly, the public expects that the new set of institutions will bring about meaningful autonomy, yes, but even more important, they need to see that these new institutions decisively result in good governance, nurture public trust, and secure the rights and welfare of all, especially the minorities among the minorities, the poorest of the poor, and other disadvantaged segments of society. Equally important, these institutions must serve as the functional channel for peaceful political contestation among politicians and would-be politicians from non-traditional sectors, including from those in the MLF and the Moro National Liberation Front. In all, the public expectation is that these, our efforts, will truly make a difference for the better, a difference that is sustainable, a difference that will unite rather than divide, a difference that will bring about a sense of well-being and not stoke the fears and insecurities of the populace. To meet these expectations, we need to put the right people and appropriate mechanisms in place, the benchmarks on which to measure our progress, and the protocols that will guide our actions and instill discipline among our ranks. We must be able to sustain the integrity of our peace process. We must intensify our convergence efforts, quote-unquote, among the Bangsamoro and with other non-Moro indigenous peoples. In particular, we ask you, our negotiating partners, to show the goodwill and benevolence in extending the hand of friendship with your other fellow Moros and fellow indigenous peoples, especially those who, like you, historically descended from ancestors who have called Mindanao their home. At the same time, we need to be realistic enough to know we will also make mistakes, that we will not be able to bring everybody on board, that we will suffer delays, that there will be naysayers, recalcitrants, and breakaways, as well as corrupt and abusive members of our respective organizations, that some will feel left behind, while others will abuse and take more than their just share, that there will be opportunists and misfits for the opportunities that will be open. We come here as skeptical and realistic as anyone else, but these dangers never stopped us from cumulatively achieving consensus and inching our way forward. Why should this stop us now from moving on to the next stage of our work for peaceful change and reforms? The many pages of the text that we have initialed and will be initialing soon will have to come alive in the form of real-life changes. Very soon, the main challenge will be to make this difference manifest in the lives of our people, especially of those in Mindanao, in our institutions, especially those of government at different levels, in our mindsets and norms, especially that of our leaders in politics and society. For this reason, we cannot afford to lose more time at the expense of the bigger task of implementation and of the considerable progress we've already gained. The time to conclude the formal exploratory talks is now. Let us enable ourselves to move forward 100% to the next stage of implementation. Call it exploratory implementation, if you like. After all, there is no ready-made template to this kind of endeavors. However, from experience, we learned that the process would usually require larger doses of goodwill, determination, and faith. These crucial elements, fortunately,